Hey there, it's Cameron Young with the Center for Snake Conservation. How's it going tonight? Oh, I have bad hair day. I need a shave. I'm a little bit cranky. It's just one of those days that just wouldn't quit. Just things just kept coming up, and I'm just tired. But that's why I do Snakespiration. And tonight I have for you to see is this amazing, amazing, gorgeous snake, one of my all-time favorites, and it's a rosy boa from California. They also occur in Nevada, and just recently, in the last couple years, been documented in Arizona. We've kind of knew they would be there because of the conditions were right, but just recently they've been documented there. And then of course they're in Mexico, and they're in the Baja Peninsula of Mexico. So, what makes a rosy boa? Why do we want to talk about them? Why are they snakeспirational? Well, they're one of the only two boas that occur in the United States. Well, you could argue now that boa constrictors, the big boas that everybody thinks about, are native in the United States because there are breeding populations of them in Florida. But you could also maybe say, well, a boa may be coming up north from Mexico in the United States, but no one's ever found it yet. And that could be true, but in terms of boas, this boa, the rosy boa, and a rubber boa, and rubber boas are really cool too. It's amazing, these boas that are in the United States, in that the rubber boa's skin looks like rubber, and when it folds itself, when it coils up, it really looks like rubber. But let's talk about the rosy boa though, and you can tell it's a constrictor because it can hold on to me. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, it does a great job of just holding on to me. And that's just a trait of constrictors, being able to constrict its prey. But what's really cool about this snake, in my opinion, is it's a snake that occurs where lots of people occur, but isn't often seen by them. Now, why is it never really seen by them is a great question. Well, one, humans, there was a paper that came out, and check out our Facebook page about humans being good at detecting snakes. And yes, that may be true, but I could argue that humans are not good at detecting snakes, because I've seen lots of people walk right by them. My brother included. Once we were looking for rattlesnakes, and my brother stepped over a snake, and his son, who was walking about 10 feet behind him, said, "Hey Dad, there's one." And literally, that snake, he had stepped over the top of this rattlesnake. And that can be a whole other story, as we'll talk about rattlesnakes and the way they like to prefer to be hidden instead of rattling and drawing attention to themselves. They really prefer to just stay still. But he stepped right over and just was a poor detection of that snake. But this, and so just humans, I don't think are as good as that paper says that they are at finding snakes. But check it out on our Facebook page, and just look up Center for Snake Conservation on Facebook and check it out there. But this snake occurs where a lot of people are, but it occurs mostly underground or under rocks and rarely comes out. And when it does come out, it comes out at night. And being a desert animal, it's adapted to the cooler temperatures of crawling around at night versus the heat and the extreme heats of the day. Now, sure, in the parts of those worlds and parts of its range, it still stays pretty stinking warm during the night. But it's not going to be the 110 degree temperatures, and it's going to be the cooler ones where this snake is active. Just look at that snake, just beautiful. Small eyes is an indicator that it's probably nocturnal. We can show you another snake with large eyes, and there's other things that will give us an indication that it's fossorial, in that its mouth is kind of almost countersunk. And there's some species that live in sand in this world that it is extremely countersunk. And I mean, just amazing animals. So it's a specialist on gorge eating. So what it means, it will go gorge itself. It will crawl down into a burrow and gorge itself on all the rodent burrows. And so this is one of those species that really is beneficial to humans, in that it controls rodent populations better than most snakes. I just couldn't say more about its beauty, its natural history, and that it's a snake that's it had never learned this, but it's a snake that can remain undetected around humans. And that's just based on its behavior. Just a gorgeous snake, and it's one that loves to give little snake kisses, and they avoid those tickle. So that's it for today. That's our Snakespiration, and we will talk to you soon, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm giving 2 different talks, one to online to a classroom, where we will just show them a lot of snakes online, up close and personal, just like this. And another one is at a night program at an after-school program, after-school care. And what a great opportunity. You have 2 talks in one day, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. So until then, stay snake-inspired.